Okay, Minorca Navy, here we go, flying back over the site. And from yesterday, where we saw the tanks coming down and that solid rosin material there that was in the tank, we see that the towers have been pulled over. There it is, down on the ground. We can also see off to the left there a little bit of that rosin, a good bit of that rosin that came out of that tank. And then the excavator was in action, demolishing the shed that was there. I thought you guys really might enjoy watching this as this operator begins to separate the pieces of material from the shed, and then also the contents that were inside of it. This is pretty interesting to watch, and how he was working the material and pulling off it looked like some shelving and maybe some pallets, maybe some cardboard type material that was in there, and how he separated that and pulled that stuff away from the area and made another pile of it. You can kind of see it developing there off to the right of the machine as he works that Komatsu. Watch how he pulls this stuff over and then kind of rakes it over into the pile. This looks like a concrete surface, so he's got a hard surface that he's working off of there. But again, the dexterity that these operators have out at this chemical plant demolition is just so impressive. Now he's got something in there that he's working the fish out. You can see how he brings this stuff out. Maybe it looks like some kind of old paper container. And then how he's going to pull this stuff over into a pile and then kind of slide it over into that trash pile that he's collecting. Now we're still working on getting a live together. I got some folks lined up to bring them out for the live that used to be part of the operation here before it was Pinova, and I think they can give us some insight into the areas of the plant and what was going on, and maybe some of the history of the plant. I think that'll be a good educational time for everyone that's joining us here to cover this demolition work. But it's almost like he uses this excavator like a broom. He's going to sweep this material off of here and then back over into that pile. Now he does this. It's just really neat to me. So he kind of flattened the bucket out, and he brought that thumb down to help. And he's just going to work that trash right on over to that pile. So much metal we've seen piled up in different piles from I guess, different types, whether it's stainless or steel. And I'm sure there's probably some different grades of stainless that these guys understand when they see it. And maybe they're separating that as well as it goes out to the recycler. But then, think about this other material that's out there that's got to be dealt with. But here we see the work on that process to get it all collected into one area. Where it can be moved off the site and processed. And he's just going to start folding this thing right on down. It just doesn't stand a chance against this excavator. And so he just separates it. Whatever fasteners were there holding that stuff seem to give way relatively easily. And he just shears it off with the force of the machine. But he seems to be getting everything broken up into manageable pieces, getting the framing, the steel work that made up the framing separated, and then pulling the tin down and moving it over into pieces as well. Now, the method of separating the material, I kind of understand, and I can appreciate that, because I'm sure they're, from a scrap standpoint, looking at the values of metals, different metals bring different prices at the recycler. And as they load this material up and move it away, it's different material will go to different places, and it'll have a different value depending on what type of material it is. Okay, he's got a little bit stuck on the thumb there, but he gets it pulled right off. Just kind of tosses that piece over to the pile. He's got something else in there. He wants to go in there and pull it out now. Well, maybe he's just going to push the building over. like exactly what he's going to do. So what is he after in there? Oh, maybe a set of some kind of shelving. Easy work. Like wooden shelving that was inside of that shed. This is just really knowing the machine. An operator who's obviously spent a little time in the seat. And just like that, it goes over. So I can imagine that a lot of the structures that were out here on the facility were very similar to this one in construction. And you can see why it didn't take a real long time to go through a lot of the stuff. Now there's some more substantial facilities still out here that have to be processed. We need to get a flight over with the drone just to survey the entire area and some of the larger buildings. I know we've kind of looked at them briefly, but I think we'll get the drone up and just kind of fly around the property and look at and maybe study some of these the bigger structures that are still out here. It takes a little while longer for him to move this stuff around because now he's gotten away from his piles now, obviously, and he has to move the machine over to get this stuff stacked where he wants it. Started to hear a little grumble in the sky as this was going on. We can see a storm headed over this way. Which kind of gives you an idea looking over the property here just how big it really was. And once we get a battery back in the drone, we see that he is pretty much straightened out that shed. That shed is just now a few piles of debris, some scrap and some trash. And that's all he's got left there. Well, hey guys, thanks for joining us. We'll ask if you haven't done it yet, click on the subscribe link. Don't forget to hit us with a thumbs up and send us some questions. We love getting comments and seeing what you guys are thinking. As always, I want to say Hey, you guys be safe out there.